He was the Hot Boy there was one of the first ones in the city that had a little backpack with the money and all that in the city. But yeah, his best friend killed him.
The hip-hop world just got hit with one of the heaviest shakeups in years because Lil Wayne has finally reached the point where silence is no longer an option. After decades of loyalty, respect, patience, and keeping things behind closed doors, Wayne is now calling out Birdman directly, and the accusations are nothing light.
I can honestly say I gave Wayne about $400 to $500 million. Drake got about $500 million, and Nicki got about $300-400 million out my pocket.
We're talking about the destruction of the Hot Boys, the family that defined an era, the crew that put Cash Money on the map, and the legacy that molded the entire New Orleans sound. This isn't just a disagreement. This is a generational wound reopening in real time, and the energy around it feels different from anything Wayne has said before. According to insiders, Wayne has been carrying these frustrations for years. He watched the group fall apart brick by brick, watched friendships fade, watched loyalty get tested, and watched the industry spin narratives that didn't match reality. And for a long time, he let things slide.
At the time, it was impossible to have any type of genuine or real feelings. I was on stage, I was in performance mode. I was trying to think about the words for the next song, honestly. So I was just trying to make sure he didn't say it at a time where it was my verse and I messed up a line or something like that.
He chose peace over pressure. He chose brotherhood over business. He chose loyalty over confrontation. But this time, Wayne isn't sugarcoating anything. He's calling out the man who built Cash Money, the man who controlled the contracts, the budgets, the tours, the royalties, and the entire direction of the Hot Boys. Wayne is now saying that Birdman didn't just mismanage things, he allegedly ruined the group from the inside. Whether it was misunderstandings, money issues, or decisions that favored one artist over another, Wayne says Birdman's moves fractured the foundation that held the Hot Boys together. What started as a family became a business, and what started as unity turned into resentment. For Wayne to speak publicly about this, after years of defending Birdman through thick and thin, tells you everything you need to know. This is deeper than a simple disagreement. This is pain resurfacing.
But y'all see this shit, man. Y'all see what's going on. I think No Limit won. That's my honest opinion. They was more organized. They was grown up about the situation.
You got street storytelling, southern flavor, and unfiltered charisma. BG brought the grit, Turk brought the fire, Juvenile brought the hits, and Wayne brought the spark that turned into a global flame. They were young, hungry, and unstoppable. But behind the success, Wayne says, the seeds of destruction were already growing, and Birdman was at the center of decisions that tore the team apart, from unpaid money to broken promises, from strained relationships to abandoned projects. Wayne claims the cracks in the foundation came directly from Birdman's leadership. And when someone who has defended Birdman for decades finally speaks out, people pay attention. It's not just hip-hop fans reacting. Legends across the game are stepping in, saying the same thing. The Hot Boys didn't fall apart naturally. Something, or someone, pushed them off the cliff.
I met Turk, shout out to Turk, you little you ain't here, but you. We gon' you when we won't you. You heard me? We gon' with that bitch when we won't.
And the Hot Boys was you, Dooney, Sterling, and Mosquito.
Well, it was more than that, but everybody started going to jail, started hanging out other places.
To understand why this moment is so explosive, you have to go back to the beginning, when the Hot Boys were the hottest group in the South, redefining everything the culture thought it knew about New Orleans rap. Cash Money wasn't a billion-dollar empire yet. It was street ambition, raw talent, and hunger so real you could hear it in every verse. Birdman was the one with the vision, the drive, the business mind, and the power. And at first, everything worked. He helped launch the careers of 4 young stars who built an entire movement. But behind all that success came the reality of control. Birdman wasn't just a label head. He was the gatekeeper.
Man, I understand our language, you feel me? But I got to say this for me. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. Y'all know y'all can't with me when y'all wanna with me. And I just wanna leave it at that, man. Like we gotta stop sending out these these mixed messages to people because y'all, don't do that. You know what I'm talking about? Respectfully.
Every contract went through him. Every check needed his approval. Every album, every feature, every tour dollar had to pass his hands. And according to Wayne, that's exactly where things started to go wrong. He says Birdman's loyalty wasn't always equal. Some artists got preferred treatment. Some deals weren't honored. Some promises were made without intention of being kept. And eventually, the tension reached a boiling point. BG, one of the original core members, was the first to publicly call out Birdman for unfair business practices. Years before Wayne said anything, BG claimed the money wasn't right, royalties were missing, and the group wasn't being treated like partners. They were being treated like employees. Turk later came forward saying the same thing. Juvenile walked away at the height of Cash Money's rise because he felt the numbers didn't match the work he put in. All roads led back to one person, Birdman. And while all this was happening, Wayne stayed loyal. He chose Birdman over everybody. He didn't speak on the money, the tension, or the cracks forming within the group. He became the face of Cash Money, carrying the entire empire on his back, even when the original crew split.
Besides that, you got the Wayne, Drake, Nicki, the Hot Boys. Before that, the Ross, Cali, all them niggas come from under my umbrella. Every last one of them niggas. Ain't too many niggas ain't been up under my umbrella. If they say it or don't say it, all them niggas come from me.
Birdman positioned Wayne as the chosen one, the superstar, the next big icon. And while that pushed Wayne into global fame, it came at a cost. The unity of the Hot Boys. The pressure wasn't just financial, it was emotional. Wayne grew up around these guys. They weren't just artists he worked with. They were brothers, mentors, day one influences. But every time one of them left the label, they weren't just leaving a contract. They were leaving the foundation that shaped their identities. Wayne says Birdman refused to fix the issues that tore the crew apart. He watched as each member drifted away, and instead of repairing the damage, Birdman allegedly doubled down on the control. And by the time Wayne realized how much had been lost, the Hot Boys were already gone. Birdman built them up, but according to Wayne, Birdman is also the reason they collapsed. When the tension finally spilled into the industry, everyone knew something serious had gone down behind closed doors.
Well, the Hot Boys, the actual street crew.
Okay.
What year did that come together?
1994, we all started hanging together, but we knew each other from, like, me and Mosquito. We kind of grew up together.
And the Hot Boys was you, Dooney, Sterling, and Mosquito.
Well, it was more than that, but everybody, like, started going to jail, started hanging out other places.
The biggest red flag, every member of the Hot Boys except Wayne left Cash Money calling out the same issues. Unpaid royalties, contracts benefiting the label over the artists, and a lack of accountability from Birdman. These weren't small disagreements. These were major accusations, repeated consistently over years from multiple people with the same story. BG said it first. The money wasn't adding up. Turk said the same. The checks didn't match the success. Juvenile confirmed it. The contracts felt one-sided. Then came the lawsuits. Multiple, not just one. Artists demanding payment for albums that went platinum, tours that made millions, publishing that was never properly distributed. And while most labels would settle, restructure, or at least negotiate, Birdman allegedly played hardball every step of the way. Wayne now says the worst part wasn't the business. It was watching friendships fall apart from preventable damage. He saw Turk struggle financially at the height of his career. He saw BG battle demons made worse by the pressure. He saw Juvenile walk away from a legacy because he felt disrespected. Each departure chipped away at something bigger than money, trust.
But it's all love, though. We ain't doing no tripping over here. It's big YNT, man. You know, YNT. That's what's going on over here.
It's a lot of moving parts with me and Wayne. And it's important to me that I fix that.
But the deepest wound came from how Birdman allegedly manipulated the narrative. According to Wayne, Birdman made it seem like everyone else was disloyal, ungrateful, or reckless. Meanwhile, he kept Wayne close, feeding him opportunities, giving him the spotlight, and treating him like the future of Cash Money. It worked, for a while. Wayne defended Birdman publicly, even when everyone else spoke against him. But over time, Wayne started seeing the patterns he never wanted to acknowledge. He realized the same man who uplifted him might have been the same man who broke apart the group that raised him. And when Wayne started speaking out about his own missing royalties years later, the world finally understood the truth. If Wayne, the superstar of the label, wasn't being paid correctly, imagine everyone else. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a system. Wayne's new comments about Birdman ruining the Hot Boys aren't coming from bitterness. They're coming from lost years, damaged relationships, and the realization that the entire crew got caught in something bigger than fame. And now that Wayne has spoken, the industry is watching closely. Because when Wayne breaks silence, people know the truth is finally coming out. The moment Wayne's comments started circulating, the first question the industry asked was simple. How is Birdman going to respond? And while Birdman hasn't dropped a direct public statement, insiders say he's definitely reacting behind the scenes, and not in a calm way. According to sources close to the situation, Birdman was blindsided. He didn't expect Wayne to finally break the code, especially after they reconciled publicly a few years ago. Their reunion was emotional, symbolic, and meaningful for the culture. Seeing Wayne speak out again reportedly felt like betrayal to Birdman. But here's the twist. Insiders say Birdman isn't angry because the accusations are false. He's angry because they're true. Word around the industry is that Birdman has privately acknowledged that mistakes were made, but he feels Wayne is reopening old wounds that were settled. Meanwhile, Wayne believes those wounds were never healed, only ignored. And the new commentary proves that Wayne still carries the weight of everything that happened. Birdman has reportedly been trying to control the narrative quietly, calling people, reaching out to certain media contacts, and trying to downplay Wayne's statements. But the problem is this: Wayne is too respected, too influential, and too credible to simply brush aside. When Wayne speaks, hip-hop listens, and this time, the streets, the fans, and even old Cash Money insiders agree with him. Some sources claim Birdman wants a private conversation to smooth things over, the same way they attempted reconciliation in the past. But Wayne's comments didn't sound like something that can be handled behind closed doors anymore. This wasn't frustration. This was truth that's been building for decades. Others say Birdman worries this could affect any future Cash Money reunions, tours, or documentaries. The Hot Boys reunion was one of the most requested cultural moments for years. But with Wayne laying out the truth so bluntly, that dream might be officially dead. Birdman may control the business, but Wayne controls the culture, and right now, the culture is siding with Wayne. As Wayne's comments continue to spread, the biggest question fans keep asking is whether the Hot Boys could ever reunite, even just once. A tour, a performance, at least one moment of unity. But with everything Wayne has now laid on the table, that dream looks more distant than ever. BG is finally home after more than a decade locked up. Turk has been rebuilding his life and reconnecting with the culture. Juvenile recently reminded the world why he's a legend with flawless live performances. And Wayne? He's still at the top of the rap game, still one of the greatest to ever touch a mic. The pieces are there, the demand is there, the fans are ready. But the problem is Birdman. Wayne made it clear, the damage wasn't accidental. The crew didn't fall apart because they outgrew each other. They fell apart because they were mismanaged. They were hurt, cheated, overlooked, and pushed into situations that destroyed the unity that made them icons. Even if Wayne, BG, Turk, and Juvenile wanted to unite without Birdman, the emotional weight is still too heavy. Wayne sees Birdman as the architect of the downfall. Until that's addressed, nothing else moves. And then there's the new generation discovering the story for the first time, asking, how did Birdman ruin one of the greatest groups in rap history? Those fans only deepen the pressure on Birdman to respond and deepen the support for Wayne. The truth is, a Hot Boys reunion isn't impossible, but it would require something Birdman has never openly given before: accountability. Until then, Wayne's words stand as the closest thing to closure the culture has ever gotten. Now that Wayne has spoken publicly, the future of his relationship with Birdman is hanging by a thread, and this time the damage may be permanent. Wayne didn't just vent, he revealed the truth about how one of the most legendary rap groups in history fell apart. He exposed the emotional and financial wounds that Birdman never addressed. He reminded the world that loyalty has limits, even for someone as loyal as Wayne. The industry now sees Wayne as the one telling the truth and Birdman as the one running from it. Every blog, every podcast, every hip-hop commentator is taking Wayne's side because the pattern matches exactly what BG, Turk, and Juvenile said years ago. The puzzle pieces finally connect. This isn't just history. This is a warning to the new generation. Wayne is showing young artists what happens when a powerful label head holds all the cards. What happens when contracts don't match loyalty. What happens when business destroys brotherhood. The Cash Money legacy is still powerful, but it will forever carry this stain. As for Birdman, he now has two choices: stay silent and let the world side with Wayne, or speak up and try to rewrite the narrative before it's too late. But with the entire culture watching, silence only makes Wayne's words stronger. And for Wayne, speaking out may have been painful, but it was necessary. He didn't do it for revenge. He did it for closure, for truth, for the legacy of the Hot Boys, and for every fan who always wondered what really happened behind the glossy image of Cash Money Records. This moment marks a turning point, not just for Wayne, not just for Birdman, but for the entire history of Southern hip-hop. The truth is out now, and there's no going back. If you want more deep dives like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss the real story behind hip-hop's biggest scandals.